the package open, gotta free it in a hurry.
Hey.
Drop it in a scene, snap a pick and spit a bar flurry. The spinning racks need refill, but I'm really not worried.
Okay.
It's the most beautiful thing in the words of Keith Murray. Dipping out in a low-low and slow-mo tipping.
Ooh.
Just one tap and it hops up like pogo sticking. This is not a put together, like Robo Chicken.
Wow.
Still original condition, number match, no parts missing.
Right.
Willowbrook and Alondra pull over right there. At the Made in Compton store, I can get something to wear. For men, women, and children, all prices fair.
Thank you.
Got fresh top to bottom. And I slid up out of there, hops right back in the low-low looking like new money.
Sure do.
Stare all you want, but can't take none from me. Ain't none bouts this cute, sweet, nor funny.
Nope.
Outside in a low ride, rain, sleet, or sunny.
Cool.
The back window's still empty, ain't earned a plaque yet. Not a renegade rider. Hub City was set. Until next time, one thing you can bet. I'll be on my grind double time, pushing a line extra shine drips wet. And you ain't seen none yet.
That was incredible. Much respect.
Welcome back to Bone with Friends. And today my special guest is T. Walker. T. Walker, how you doing?
What up, though?
Man,
That's the official Detroit greeting.
man, it's good to have you. I remember we used to say that back in the 90s. My boy Don about a pocket hood. He used to be, what up, Joe? I don't know where he got it from, but he used to travel, so
Yeah,
he probably got it from D-Town.
yeah. Everybody watch 8 Mile because they say it all through the movie 8 Mile. So then everybody else picked it up, but we have been saying it for a while.
Oh, okay. So growing up in Detroit, what part of the city shaped you the most and why?
So I'm from the West Side, 7 Mile and Oakfield. That's the heart of the West Side. I just, I never really went on the East Side. So Detroit is split between the East Side and the West Side. There's a street called Woodward that separates them both. So I just never did travel really on the East Side. So all I know is the West.
So I got to get off. I got to ask you this.
Oh yeah.
So do East Siders get along with the West Siders?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
Nope. It's better now, but back in the day, man, it was pure war between the two.
Hmm.
Yep.
And what was that behind? Just a territory, geographic? You
Niggas
from the
being
West, I'm
niggas.
from the East?
Just nigga shit. That's it. You know how we are. We can't get along with nothing. It's just nigga shit.
So what was your childhood like in Detroit? Or what was the soundtrack to your childhood?
Well, the soundtrack to my childhood, definitely Motown. 'Cause
Hmm.
I was born in '74, so hard tail end of Motown. So my parents grew up listening to music, so naturally, I had like them. Remember them little cookies that came in them that steel
The
pan?
tin pan.
Yeah, tin pan. I used to get some 2 pencils and beat on like a drum.
So you had the music bug early
Oh
on
yeah.
in life.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was always attracted to music. Always.
So what inspired you first? Being a DJ, journalism, or Houston sports media?
So I'll tell you a story on how I became a journalist.
Mhm.
I wasn't shit in high school, man. I just, I skated through and I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. I was running around with knuckleheads and doing all type of stuff. But then I decided that I gotta do something with my life because I don't want to be sitting around shooting dice, drinking 40s and stuff like that, when
Mhm.
I need to be a productive citizen, So that hit me. So then I had to take life serious, and I had to decide on what I wanted to do. So I was in college. I made it to college. I was almost about to go to the military, but my uncle had talked me out of it. So I ended up going to college. So I was in college. I was just going, I'm like, because I hadn't thought about what I wanted to do with my future. And it was a guy who went to my high school who they said worked at Fox 4. That's the station. This is in Kansas City. So I'm from Detroit, but I moved to Kansas City.
Mm.
So there was a guy at high school who worked at the TV station. I'm like, man. And they said he was a cameraman. I was like, oh man, that sounds like a good job. I'd love to do. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, okay, I need to start taking this serious.
Mhm.
So once I did, I got an internship. And my first day of my internship, we went and interviewed. At the time, it was the Royals. The Royals. So I was in Royal Stadium,
Mhm.
and I'm like, and I had been there before to watch baseball games, but now I'm on the field. I'm like, oh shit, this is what I want to do for real. I'm like, you get to do this and I kept waiting for somebody to tap me and say, you ain't supposed to be here, but it
Yeah.
never happened. So I was like, oh shit. So from that point on, I'm like, I got to take this serious because this is something I really want to do, and it's something that I enjoy because I love shoot sports.
Mhm.
So I got in the news, I got an internship, and then I got my first job. And I've just been hooked ever since. That's been 27 years ago, and I still love doing it to this day.
Oh,
So
man.
even though I've pretty much listened to music my entire life. I've always loved music my entire life, but I was around before hip hop was born. So when Rapper's Delight came out, I just thought it was a remix of Good Times by Cheek.
Mhm.
So I didn't know, that it was this whole new phenomenon that was about to come.
Mhm.
I actually was into, you know what? Because, like I said, Motown was what I listened to the most. But I really got into Funkadelic. I really got into George Clinton first before I got into hip hop. I'm like, what is this?
Mhm.
And then hip hop came along, and then I was just hooked. From the first time I heard, man, what's the name of that? Planet Rock.
Oh,
Planet
yeah.
Rock did it for me. It was like crack, man. Planet Rock was crack for me. Ever since that song, man, I was hooked.
Man, I remember Planet Rock as a kid. It made me think about it was a guy named Mr. Foster. He owned like a lot of properties on Bennett in our neighborhood.
Hmm.
And he used to throw a 4th of July party. He had like barbecue all day. And then that night he'd pop off maybe about $3,000-4,000 worth of fireworks. So my mom, they'll let us go down there, but when it get dark, they'd be like, come back in, check in, then y'all could go watch the fireworks.
Hmm.
And I remember, as far as I can remember, Planet Rock was the first song I heard them play.
Yep.
And it was like, man, it was burning in my head. Every time I
Yep.
hear that song, I think about the 4th of July.
Yep. Like I said, even though I had heard Rapper's Delight, I just thought it was a remix of Chic. So I didn't really, it wasn't a big song for me. It was just a remix for me. But when I heard Planet Rock, I'm like, oh shit, what is this?
Yeah.
And it was just so different from anything else that I had heard. It just had me hooked, and that was just it.
Man.
So I can't differentiate between journalism and music because both of them have their place, within the fiber that I am, So I would be torn to put one above the other because they're both just so instrumental, in my life.
Yeah. So how did you go from Detroit roots to working Houston sports media?
Well, I went to college and then I did an internship. But the important thing is I kicked ass in my internship because this is my life. Because I went from not knowing what I was going to do to, oh shit, I got to do something with my life. And I don't want to, whatever I do, it's got to work.
Mhm.
This got to work. I can't afford for it not to work. So when I got my internship, it was something that I took serious to the point to where even after internship was over, they still allowed me to come there. So I went there and made my tape, and then it was called a resume tape. So I'd shoot some stories and stuff like that, and then put it on a tape. And then that's what I would use to send out to stations to get a real job.
Mhm.
So that's how I got into journalism.
So what was your first big break at Fox 26 Houston?
The big news story,
Mm-hmm.
man. We're talking about 23 years worth of stuff. When I first got there, you remember Enron? Remember when that Enron collapsed? My first year, within my first 6 months, they had that trial. And I went to that trial every single day. Did you ever see the This is a viral video. Viral video with the bug went in the reporter's mouth.
Yeah.
My very first job, I worked with him.
Oh, nice.
What
the?
Yep. Me and him worked together. I got there probably 6 months to a year after that video had happened.
Yeah.
So, I was going somewhere with that. So we both work in Houston now. So and it was in Little Rock. So I worked in Little Rock. We both worked in Little Rock. He went to Memphis. I went to Kansas City station. And then he came to Houston. He was like, hey, man, they got a job opening. So I came and I knew somebody else. Actually, the other person I was visiting in Houston is from Claremont. So I went to go visit him while I met with Isaiah, the reporter. So I went to go visit Isaiah, and then I went to the station, and then the chief photographer at the time was there. He was like, hey, he was talked to me, and that ended up being my interview, but I didn't know it. And he offered me the job, and then I took it. But that was 23 years ago, and the Enron probably was the biggest story, but there's so many, man. I can't think of anything else.
So it's safe to say you cover more than sports.
Oh yeah. I cover news and sports. To be honest, I cover more news than sports because we actually have a sports department. It's been since, depleted a lot now. So we only have one sports guy. So I get to shoot sports a lot more now, which I love because I love sports. So, I was here for the Chargers game last year. So I love shooting sports. I love traveling and doing all that type of stuff. And I get to do it more now.
You watching Bone with Friends, and I'm with T. Walker, and we're about to go to our first commercial break. We back with Bone with Friends, and my special guest is T. Walker, and we're gonna go with another round of questions.
Yes, sir.
So, as a DJ and a journalist, how do you balance entertainment with professionalism?
Oh man. Woo. I mean, when you say professionalism, what do you mean?
Like which one reigns more?
Journalism?
Yeah.
I love them both, man. I can't pick one or the other. Probably music. I probably love music a little bit more. Both of them are fun, man. You know what? Music is definitely more fun because a lot of times I see things that I don't necessarily want to see while covering news stories. Not necessarily with sports, more so on the news side of journalism. So, it's been a couple of nights where I had to come home and have a stiff drink, man, behind some stuff that I've seen, but there's this one story that will always, well, two stories that always stick out in my mind. Three. So the first one was the first week I worked in Little Rock. Very first story. So when you come in new, you work weekends. So this was a Saturday I came in. It's like, we got a floater down by the Arkansas River or Little Rock River or whatever the hell it was called. So I went down there. Man, this big bloated dude, he had been in the water for a while, man. And he was just standing there floating. I'm like, oh, damn. And that stuck with me for a little bit. But then I got over that because I saw many more bodies after that, like a ton of them after that.
While you was working in Little Rock?
Well, I was working in Little Rock. Little Rock was actually pretty bad.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty rough out there.
So that's one. And then the second one is, I know there was three, but I remember. Okay. So the second one was, this is in Houston. No, Kansas City was my second market, so I'll go to the story there. So it was a missing person, and then the family of the missing person were going to look for their loved one.
Mhm.
They had a sneaky suspicion that something had happened, so they went to go look for him. So I had got the assignment, but I was a little late getting there. So I get there, so I'm the last one to park. It's probably 15 cars full of people looking for their loved one.
Mhm.
So I was the last one there. I parked, everybody got there because it's TV. So we like to have video and then audio, basically, of somebody talking, a family member, preferably, And
Mhm.
they said, yeah, we want to get the word out because we want to find our loved ones. So come and we'll talk to you and give you an interview and all that stuff. So I went there to get the video of them searching and then get them talking about the loved one. So it's Midwest, so snow on the ground. It's December, so it's cold as hell, and then there's snow and ice and shit all on the ground. So it was a wooded area. Half the family had already went to go look for where they thought he might be because there's a little ravine and stuff like that. So they were going to look there. So I get out of my car. I go walk because the sister's waiting for me. So I get out of my car. I walk. There's a sister and a cousin of a loved one that's missing. I'm talking to the sister, and then the cousin is walking around, and she's right by my car. And she's just yelling and screaming. And I'm like, oh God, this motherfucker was right by my car. The body. I had to walk right by him. He was right by my car, right in the path where I walked. And I'm like, oh my God, man. And they's yelling and everybody's running, and he was right there. And somebody had killed him, so he
Wow.
was right there. But then the family, and I can't help but to agree with them. They said, you were sent here for a purpose. And they was like, we thank you so much. And I can't take credit for it because it wasn't me. I got there late.
Mhm.
I didn't do shit. I was just late.
Yeah.
So, but they looked at it as a sign of God that sent me there so they can find their loved one. And I can't disagree because that's how it worked out.
Yeah.
And then this is the last one. This is in Houston. There was a girl that was trying to commit suicide. Young girl. She's probably no older than 21. She had climbed up the utility. It wasn't a utility pole. You know those towers that have the lines and shit on it?
Mhm.
So she had somehow climbed up there, and she was at the very top. I don't know how she made it up there without getting electrocuted, but she did. So everybody, the fire department said, everybody's there. I have a camera with an extender, so I could see, and it's starting to get, nighttime a little bit. It's starting to get dark a little bit. So I could see where the regular eye can't see because I got the extender.
Mhm.
So I see, and she's high up there, and I'm like, hey, she's hanging. I said she hangs. So she took her belt off. She tied it on to one of the things, and she's hanging now. So she's, but you can't see it from the ground. You can only see it through my camera through the extender. So I'm telling them, hey, she's hanging. The belt broke and she fell, and all you could hear was ping, ping, ping. She was out like, oh man. So it's some of the things you can see doing that stuff. There's this one lady, they found a child's head. This is back in Kansas City. They found a child's head, and this guy opened it up and saw the head, and the reporter saw it. Man, she was out at least a year because she had mental health issues after that, after seeing that stuff. So it could be traumatizing. We see a lot of stuff.
Man. So, what's one of the wildest moments you ever had covering sports?
Man, covering sports. What did I see while covering sports? I don't think I've seen anything too wild. Just regular. Oh no. Well, okay. I guess this qualifies. World Series game. It was Game 7. Game 7. I think it was Game 7. The Astros were playing. You know, they just came off a run where they had a good 4 or 5 run where they was just kicking ass, man. It was going to the World Series. I think they went 3 times in a row. But it was Game Series. I mean, it was Game 7 of a I think it was ALCS, and Jose Altuve hit a home run the bottom of the ninth to win the game, to send them to the World Series. So that's probably the wildest thing.
Houston has a strong music culture. How does it compare to Detroit's energy?
Man, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not from Houston, and Houston stuff is here's one thing. I'll give Houston credit because their music is different. It's not like everybody else's stuff. Same way Memphis stuff was not like everybody else. It's the South, but they had their own distinct sound. And Houston has its own distinct sound. Even, I mean, separate from the Ghetto Boys. Most everybody know the Ghetto Boys, but they had a whole nother subculture outside of that. I'm not from there, so you know, I appreciate it for what it is, but I'm not from there. You kind of have to be from there to really, really, you know, appreciate that. And I'm just not from there, and I missed all that stuff. So I wasn't there when it came to fruition. I wasn't around. So, but Detroit's culture, see, Detroit has 2 cultures. It has a hip hop culture, and then it has a rap culture. I'm not really into like mumble rap and all that. I'm not into it. I'm more into like Royce the 5'9". I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah.
Royce 5'9", Jay Dilla. You know, that's more my lane.
Yeah, man, I love Jay Dilla. I like Royce 5'9" too.
Yeah.
So what hip hop era do you think had the biggest impact on the culture?
Man, I gotta say 80s, man. It shaped the sound for hip hop, man.
With like LL, Fat Boys, all them.
Yeah, I mean, hell, man, you got Toddy T, you know, you got so you know, that whole era, everybody did they didn't do the same thing, but there was a distinct sound, you know, that everybody had, you know. So I got to go with the 80s, man.
Okay.
It's not my favorite, but I think it shaped hip hop.
Okay. Well, this bring Bone with Friends to a conclude, and I thank everybody in advance for tuning in. I thank T. Walker for stepping up.
Yes, sir.
Answering a few questions, shedding a little light on where he came from and what he's doing now. So if you want to support us, follow MICPT Channel 12 Compton, like, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow. Bone with Friends. Peace.
Yeah. Oh yeah, appreciate it. Yes, sir.